intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
So General Manager Conor has returned, this time in text format and also non-proofread format, as this thing is full of typos and errors. But there's some potentially good news in here and also some negative news. I'm going to give it all to you straight and then also give you my thoughts and opinions where we'll see where this is going. All right, so I'm going to read through. Yep, it's one of those slop videos where we read what they wrote, but at the same time, I do have some information to add to it that hopefully you'll find useful. So welcome to the GM Update. This is the first installment. It will be a regular series where we share about what's happening in STFC. Personally, number one, that's great. Good. We need more clear, concise information instead of relying on Deuce's Discord and things like that. That's good. So we're starting off with a positive. Yeah, we like it. Now, we're going to spend too much time talking about it. Yeah, that just needs to continue happening. So let's move on because they're just spend the rest of the paragraph fluffing and talking about how amazing you all are. Like, hey, we're going to make you feel great before we smack you with some news. All right, getting content right for every level. In efforts to save broader player base and incorporate community requests, we've expanded our target audience for updates. I feel like they're about to contradict that. If you think they're going to contradict that, leave a comment down below at this moment. Yeah, like a minute into the video if you think they're about to contradict themselves. So, they made things feel thinner, slower, more disconnected. Earlier rewards invalidated older content and high-level experiences felt watered down. Progression lost its rhythm. We actually see G3 and G4 players play more between tent poles than during them. Okay? Yeah, that's because your months have been pretty bad, but the months where things are relaxed or the weeks where things are relaxed, it's more fun. Go figure. So we're changing course. New content moving forward will be focused on higher levels, where the challenge needs to scale and the game needs to offer fresh experiences. September update starts at 45 as an introduction, but the experience takes off in G5. Now, for those of you who are out there, you should probably remember I've been telling y'all this is coming for quite some time. New content is not going to scale backwards, even though GM Conor just had a video talking about we're going to do more things for lower level players. New content was always planned and will not be stopped rolling out for higher levels. Now it's going to be focused on G5 and above, and you will reach a point where it will be G6 and above. Look about a year from now down the road. I don't see them really changing that map, but let's see how they're going to compensate for that. For G3 and G4 players, our goal is to surface the best of STFC's existing content, ships, events, systems that already work, with clear rewards and more focused progression. I'm not sold, but let's continue reading. The battle pass for G3 is shifting away from choice rewards. God dang it. Gosh darn it. You started off okay, I guess. Yeah, we'll see what that looks like. Maybe I'm being too preemptively judgmental. But getting rid of the choice reward system, yeah, that'll make everybody happy. That'll help progression. Wait till you hear about their other thoughts about progression in about 5 minutes. Yeah. All right. We'll review player feedback and data after the first cycle and continue to look for ways to improve the clarity in these grades. Let me go ahead and tell you the feedback after the first cycle. Bring back choice rewards. Wow, Rev, you're amazing. Here's the problem. I was going to wait to the end, but I've got to interject 3 minutes in. A lot of this reads as if nothing is actually changing, and what it really reads as, they're listening to the same people they've been listening to, and Scopely, FYI, that's why you have so many problems. You need to stop doing things how you did them and stop listening to the people you were listening to. That's what's causing so many problems. Anyway, we've added targeted events and rewards around the USS Reliant and Franklin, depending on your level. Yes, the Franklin, the ship that is literally irrelevant in today's game. Good news, there's events for it. Yay! Hey, maybe I am incorrect and these events will be so amazingly wonderful and pay out so much, we won't care the fact that it's part of a loop that's literally dead, that you archived acknowledging it was dead, and now apparently you're saying, no, you're going to do it anyway. So there's that. Not to mention the Reliant, which very few free-to-play have at this point, especially G3 players. Oh well, between September and October, we'll have a special event series asking players to engage with grade-relevant ships. These events will reward those with prior progress, but opening new opportunities for those that haven't. Hey, number one thing that you keep missing on G3, G4, it's actually how long it takes to acquire and upgrade the ships. Yeah, so if you actually just gave those things away or made them easier to obtain, you wouldn't have so many issues. But good luck with your course of action. I'm sure it'll go great. Quick guide, what to expect in September. For Ops 20 through 44, expect arc adjacent events turn to grade specific progression. Again, Scopely, you got to realize what is actually lacking in the progression. It's not materials, it's not resources, it's things like officer badges, it's things like officers, it's things like specialty ships, the actual blueprints for them, it's the currencies for the specialty ships, it's the ability to upgrade the specialty ships. That's what slows everybody down. We'll see what those, hey, again, maybe I'm being too judgmental prematurely, and I will acknowledge that. Like many of you, I've been frustrated with the state of the game lately. So, House 45 through 50, September introduces content starting at 45 with experience ramping up in the 50s. Spoiler alert, there's a new hostile that's a copy and paste of an old hostile with a gold skin on it. Great job. Yeah, way to go, team. Ops 51 Plus, we're targeting November to begin focusing our updates on the higher ops. We'll see what that looks like. I do want to point out that November is in bold, which is the traditional launch date of when they roll out the new premium area. So G6, November 2 years ago. G5, again, end of the year, 2 years before that. So now there have been rumors in VIP where VIPs have been told that G7 could be getting pushed back. We'll see what actually ends up happening there. At the same time, we're making changes to G5 by reducing event blow, which does sound great, by the way. That actually does sound really good. We'll see what that looks like. More focused daily and weekly rhythm with a clear and challenging direction. I worry about the challenging thing because Scopely so often thinks challenging just means, oh, make them hit 80 hostiles. We'll see what that looks like. Optional deeper engagement through heroics and ticket events. Oh, there we go. Hey, there's the money, everybody. Yay, we gotta have more money. We gotta do that. Yep. We're excited if these changes land in September. We want grade 3 and 4 players to have more focused progression with rewards, ships, and activities that match where you're at in your journey. Higher ops players should expect fresh challenges that continue to expand the universe. All right, cool. All right, stronger together. I do look forward to this. I know I've been slightly negative in this video with my tone and connotations, but this actually reads very nice. You also notice a bigger emphasis on your alliance. Now, some of you who are solo players may not enjoy this, but as someone who's very alliance-centric, I do like this. More events, more emphasis on running alliance stuff. We're bringing some new updates to alliances that allow targeting mid-September for rolling out alliance tagging to make sure you're finding the right alliance. I assume this means things like, hey, we're PvE focused, PvP focused, alliance tournaments, pirates, OPC hunters, whatever. Hopefully that'll, maybe provide a little bit extra. I'm looking forward to it as an alliance leader to see what that ends up meaning. So I actually do think that's a step in the right direction. Hey, while we're here, by the way, Scopely, how about giving me as an admiral the ability to mail every single one of my members at one time so that they don't have to come to Discord to see an alliance announcement? I can just do, oh, look, I need to send this message to everybody. Guys, don't forget, we've got a territory capture 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on a Friday. I just pulled that number out my butt, and then I click it, and it goes to all 86 of my members. Yeah, stuff like that. Anyway, back to, again, I do look forward to alliance improvements. USS Vengeance. There are a lot of factors that play into ship's power, crewing for hostiles and PvP, below deck, blah, blah, blah. With that in mind, we're seeing Vengeance being destroyed in some matchups against player cubes. Now, for FYI, there are currently 221 players that have a USS Vengeance, and I think around a dozen that have maxed theirs out. Those players have lost to things like GS-31s and Borg cubes. And to be clear, Scopely, that's okay. It's not our fault that you sold them something that wasn't true. The beta/round 2 builds, even round build ships like the Vengeance are going to have struggle buses in round 1. And you better not just offset the game and completely nullify things like cubes and GS-31s because you decided to design something that was more PvE based. Anything that has the majority of its firing pattern on even rounds is going to have more of a potential struggle against things that have higher first, third, fifth, etc. firing patterns. This is what it is. And unless you're going to go back and change the Vengeance firing pattern to be in round 1, it's never going to be the OP ship that you sold it as. And it's not our fault that you sold it as that. And it can still be legendary. I mean, you needed to fight those Breen hostiles. Yeah, there you go. That's the thing. Keep moving. Shipyard management. All right, here's the part where y'all about to really understand how tone deaf and out of touch Scopely is. We're committed to providing a G5 scrapping solution to players. I do appreciate this. We have missed the goal and will not have that in 2025. So I do front, foremost, etc. appreciate them acknowledging and admitting, look, we're not going to be able to live up to that promise. I do appreciate it. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I would much rather have a promise that you eventually have to push back versus you never making any promises to improve the game. But let me go ahead and get y'all upset real quick. Scrapping does 2 things. Clearing your space for your shipyard and allowing you to recover some of the resources invested in the building. The first goal is freeing up Shipyard space, which is mostly what our upper G6 players want because they're running into lack of hangar spots. I've had many conversations with the dev team about that. Second goal, returning a resource to where things get more complicated. Do they though? No, they don't. They don't get more complicated. You just don't like it because you can't sell as many packs. Over time, we've added more cost efficiency across the game to speed up progression, especially in later grades. Events, loops, etc. have made G4 ship parts and resources more accessible. That's been good for progression, correct? But it's also raised the value of scrapping far beyond what was intended. Simply put, G4 ships have become cheaper to build, but the rewards for scrapping G5 haven't changed, creating an imbalance. It's not imbalance. It's creating a pathway to quicker progression. You just don't like the fact that people aren't getting to level 60 and spending $500 to upgrade their Enterprise D. Suck it up. G5's not your premium area anymore. Quit worrying about scrapping being an economic improvement and use it as the tool that it is now. Allow it to be a progression speed up to get people closer to that premium area of the game you want them in anyway, which will soon be G7, right? Let them scrap for that. Who cares? You're going to miss out on what? A handful of sales. Big deal. You want to get people up to the top of the game so you stop having to worry about G3? Well, quit messing with the scrapping mechanic. Leave it alone. Me and Ripper, aka Alex, have fought for this many times. We had to fight for G4 scrapping to be made better, and it was terrible when it rolled out. Same thing I've been telling everybody on the live streams. It's going to be terrible when it comes because this is how Scopely sees things. How dare you get an economic benefit in the next generation for something that you spent hundreds of hours of doing previously? God forbid you can get 8 tiers free of an Enterprise D if you've got decent research and you scrap an Enterprise A. Heaven forbid you've got all your efficiencies maxed out and you can max out your Enterprise D without spending a dime. Man, what a terrible day that is, even though that's the primary ship you're going to be using throughout most of G6, which is where they want you to be. The irony is not lost. Actually, it is. It is lost. They don't know where it's at. Maybe you can't see it. Anyway, clearing shipyard space is still a must. We looked at solutions like a scuttle option with no payout. Yeah, because that would go over really well. But that didn't feel right. Smart move there, Scopely. So an immediate step, we recently increased shipyard space in June and we're giving more in October, which is good. More updates on the future scrapping will come later this year. And then, hey, we should proofread this before we launch it with all these typos in it. The impact that has had in how we have seen players engage with G5 progression has been very noticeable. And we want to make sure the G6 experience is encouraging you to explore the galaxy, engage with other players, and not run a scrapping queue constantly as a key method of progression. Why? What's the problem with that? Oh, I forgot. You want us to spend money in G6 like everybody else did. You got to leave this paradigm, Scopely, of this game. Look, I say this as your number one content creator, the guy whose life and family relies on this game. So it's not like I'm just throwing shade and I'm going to go back to my, 8 to 5 and not care. This is why people don't believe, and going by the number of people leaving the game, it's not going to be here in 12, 24 months. You need to flip your paradigm. Again, stop listening to the people you're listening to. It don't work no more. It was fine 5 years ago. Cool. It's not like that anymore, boys and girls. Time to change. You got to adapt or die, and you're real close to the latter instead of the former. So, still the first point stands. We need players to be able to clear their shipyard, and I don't disagree with that. For now, while we adjust how scrapping functions, we'll be giving all players additional ship slots, which is fine, but I swear to goodness, you try to die on this hill, and you're going to quite literally die on the hill. Just letting you know. It would be better to not release G5 scrapping than to give G5 scrapping and make it worthless. I'm telling you. If you do that, you're going to regret it. It's just my opinion. You're going to regret it. It'd be better to just simply continue increasing hangar slots and not let people scrap. That would be the better course of action. Just shelve G5 scrapping completely versus giving them something that's going to insult the player base and rile up another fire that you just simply cannot deal with. That's my thoughts. Performance and stability, this goes over the Unity 6 update. I'm going to skip that because I talked about Unity 6 already, and I thought this was a great move. This is definitely a good move. We're going to hope that that continues to be a positive, and then charting the course beyond September. So, y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. Like the video if you haven't already. Helps out the channel, but more importantly, make sure that you're aware of what all is going on in the game because they tend to not communicate very well, though again, I do want to praise them for this existing. Now, I did insert a lot of my opinions and takes in here, and that might sway you one way or the other, but I truly come from a position of wanting this game to succeed. Let me know what you think down below. As always, live long and plunder. Stay safe out there, Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. I'm going to catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video. Let me know what you think down below, and we'll forward all that to Conor. Now, I will say this. They have also told certain employees to not talk to the people as much anymore due to some of the issues I've let y'all know that's been happening. So they're starting to turtle. Man, oh man, I hope they reverse those decisions. We'll see you on the next one.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.